Israel's Air Force targeted Hamas locations in the Gaza Strip overnight and destroyed the homes of the men it accuses of kidnapping and killing 3 Israeli teenagers. Their bodies were found in a remote corner of the West Bank yesterday. The teens went missing over 2 weeks ago. As Stuart Greer explains, the growing tension comes as a grief-stricken nation buries the young men.
United in grief and anger, Israelis came together for the funeral of the 3 slain teenagers, their bodies wrapped in the country's flag. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed Hamas will pay a heavy price. We've been living in a movie whose ending is a terrible one, said Cheryl Shar, sister of one of the teens. Gilad Shar and Naftali Frankel, both 16, along with 19-year-old Eyal Yifra, were abducted on June 12th while hitchhiking from a religious school on the West Bank. Their bodies were discovered on Monday after the biggest Israeli ground operation in nearly a decade. Israel's revenge came swiftly, with fighters pounding dozens of Hamas targets overnight in Gaza and the West Bank. The family homes of the men suspected of killing the teens were blown up.
They are both Hamas operatives. They have both served time for carrying out acts of violent terrorism.
And Israeli troops shot dead a Palestinian man who allegedly threw a grenade at them as they tried to arrest a militant. In response, Hamas fired rockets into Israel from Gaza. While praising the kidnappings, the militant group denies any involvement in the abductions. Instead, it blames Israel.
The only way out of this mess is to accept the Palestinian people's rights for independence, for freedom.
Israel, however, suspects the recent peace pact between the moderate Palestinian Authority and Hamas has allowed the militant group to reassert its presence on the West Bank.
We call upon the Palestinian leadership to break its pact with Hamas.
Right-wing religious activists in Jerusalem are going further, chanting death to Arabs. They're calling on the Israeli army to launch an offensive to crush Hamas. Stuart Greer, Global News, London.